Hey everybody. So they often say, be careful what you wish for because you might get it.
Remember, you wanted this.
Well, we got it. Finally, we got some rain. But with every action, there's usually an equal and opposite reaction. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. Now, a couple of years ago, I had these drains were completely covered. I didn't even know that they were there. When the yard was installed, had no idea that any of that was there. And I had bubbling of my turf. It actually raised up about this high. Probably about a good foot to maybe 18 inches above the normal plane of the grass. Well, once I saw that, I knew that my downspouts that come off my house right there and another one right there were the main instigators as to why this was happening, because all of that surface area was collecting the water and running it off. Well, what ended up happening is I ended up getting all this area got flushed out. I had some about 3-inch depressions in each area, because the water, when it rose up, it washed everything out. Water will always find a way. No matter what you do, water will find a way. For example, I can see this one right here. When water finds a way, and it looks like that happened, you can see all some of my mulch and my bark. Obviously, I had a massive washout right here because this is the lowest area of the yard. Because I have an upgrade here, it comes to this area, and then it probably pooled and took all of it with it down the street and then found its way into the gutter. Water follows gravity. No matter what you do, no matter what you try to do to divert it, sometimes you can divert it, but being smart about how you're doing things is key to making sure you don't have future damage to your yard. But there's times where homeowners have no idea that those downspout grates or anywhere would outlet the water from your residence. They have no idea that it's even there. I've had the same thing, and I'm just as guilty as everybody else. For example, this grate here was buried. I had no idea that this one was here. I had no idea that they even stuck one off this side of the house to come out here until I was digging and adding this head right here and came across it. Now, is it important? Absolutely. Because if you don't, and that water backs up, then you'll have runoff closer to your home, which can then just fall into other problems. You can get flooding in your home. The reason why I decided to put them in my mow strips was because I didn't want anything going into the middle of this, and then all of a sudden I'd have this washout and it washing away my turf. Here it comes out, it bubbles up, and then it finds its way into the gutter. Now, when I say that I'm as guilty as the next person, I mean that. I've got this downspout here, and it comes out into my yard somewhere. I did not get a bubbling effect anywhere, and I did look for it, because yesterday or last night at about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening, my entire backyard was nothing but a complete and utter swamp. This whole area, and you can hear how squishy and swampy it is, but this whole thing was just completely covered in water. And part of that comes from the fact that I have a difference of elevation from the home next to me. I know for a fact that these downspouts that are on this house, they actually drop right down into the ground and with no outlet. And again, water will find a way. I'm extremely nervous that at one point in time, this wall that they put up, which has no footing, by the way, water will find its way down and underneath, because it only goes down about the line, and where the bottom of this wall is only down about that far past the sod line, that the water will find its way out and flush out all the actual ground that the wall's sitting on. And eventually I might have a problem where this starts to tilt or tip, because there's ground on the other side, but there's nothing holding it from tipping it this way. So I actually might just put a little level gauge to see if it's if it starts to lean, I'll be able to tell, but we'll see. It's not my fence, so I got to be kind of careful in doing that kind of stuff. But like I said, this whole area was swamped out because all the water from this neighbor of mine next door swamped out. You can see where it swamped it out so much that it took some of the debris from my mulching and went and flushed it out into this area. This is the area that was the deepest. This was probably under about 2.5 inches of standing water yesterday. It is still raining today, but again, sometimes we get lazy. I'm just as guilty, and I actually have these 2 small downspouts that come off the canopy area over the porch, and I've got a grate that has gotten covered up because, again, I just let it go just due to apathy. I have had other bigger projects to work with, so again, I can be just as guilty. I was more worried about the front yard than I was the back, and because of that, the backyard went to the wayside. So now it's going to have to be a matter of importance. So what's going to happen? I'm going to have to come down, track that out to wherever it is. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's somewhere in this area, but we're gonna have to track it, find it, get it lifted up, get the proper grade on it, and fix it from that point. But what do? Well, that's right, you gripe and complain until it gets fixed by yourself. All right, so in regards to what can happen on a closed over area that the yard has literally grown over the downspout. This is the neighbor across the street. This is 2020's project lawn, and as you can see, this downspout comes down and came out and is literally right here, and you can see how much water is coming out, and this is nothing but an absolute marshy mess, and it's going to stay that way until the rain subsides. And the problem is right now those roots are not in contact with too much soil, and last night when the water was coming down, it was literally it was probably 18 inches to 2 feet high, and you can see where the water was just gushing out when we made these small pressure relief holes. But now to fix this, there's going to be, when this is all done and the water dissipates, there's going to be a large depression, probably about 2 to 3 inches, because when the water comes out, it finds its way and it will flush. Because of the fact that this is on a graded step, it will come out, it will find its way down, and then we're going to have it's shifting the dirt elsewhere. So we're going to have to come down, track this out, find the grate, install a different grate, and then fix the lawn. Now, I'm not going to do this in the middle of the heat of the summer. Granted, it's only about 70 degrees right now, but we're going to fix that, get it looking better, and then yeah, it's going to be a mess. But better to have it fixed now than to have another problem later on down the road. Now, don't get me wrong, I am very grateful for the moisture that we've been able to receive, because this entire area was so drought stricken that they've been threatening to shut down the water as of September 1st. It is now August the 2nd, and that makes me a little nervous because I doubt that my yard's going to last quite that long. Now, that being said, be careful what you wish for. You might get it.
You know what they say, Lieutenant. Be careful what you wish for. You may get it.
Well, I've been wishing for rain. We got it. There are always going to be the good and the bad that comes with that, especially when you get heavy downpours. But the biggest thing is if you prepared yourself for likelihood of a heavy deluge of rain, you'll be prepared, and it won't affect you nearly as much. Like it affected the gentleman across the street, like it can affect most people. But we don't get a lot of rain here, so it kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? Well, now there's some ugly turf, and we're gonna have to fix that. But that's just part of the territory. That's what it is.
Or you'll get out of shape fast.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
So what do we do? Well, the next steps are going to be is to find the grate, get it cut out, make sure that we've got proper drainage coming from the house to the yard, and making sure that that never happens again. It is never a good looking option in your yard to have a grate sitting out in the middle. You know, the 2 or the 3 that are in my mow strips, they don't look good, but you get used to them. But it looks a lot better than damaged turf from washouts and getting those big lawn zits, as I call them. So we're going to fix that. Going to be a couple weeks till we're out of the high temps where we can cut the sod out, throw some more dirt down, level it back out, and make sure that it's looking nice again. And then there'll be some fine tuning and adjusting from that point
Put
forward.
your arm back in there. Now that's gonna be on the.
That's going to be a mess.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for any notifications on any future videos being posted. Also, like, share with your friends, and please comment down below. It really helps. And we'll see you in the next one. Finally. It's Old Faithful, except not so faithful. And there's his twin cousin.